The Atlanta Falcons have signed an edge rusher in NFL free agency during training camp. We'll let you know who that is. Plus, could the Falcons trade Cordarrelle Patterson before week one? All that coming up here on Falcons Today. I'm Harrison Graham filling in for Matthew Peterson. Josh Kendall of The Athletic broke the news that the Falcons have signed Delonte Scott on Wednesday, a 6'5", 246-pound edge rusher out of SMU. And I actually wasn't super familiar with him. We're down here in Dallas and couldn't remember watching him at SMU, so had to look back and kind of do a little bit of research. So we'll tell you all about him and his journey here in just a moment. But Falcons fans, help us out. Share this video on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, by clicking that share button on this video, select the Twitter icon, click post to Twitter, and then tag producer Rolly, who put this show together for you guys, at Nick_Roloff. That's Nick without a K. NIC_Roloff, and then we will get you guys a shout out to everyone who shares this video on Twitter, but we're not going to see it if you don't tag producer Rolly, so make sure you go ahead and do just that. Let's talk about Delonte Scott now here. 4 seasons at SMU. He was second team All-American Athletic Conference there. Ended up finding his way to the Steelers after going undrafted and played in 3 games in that 2021 season. Spent this past spring with the San Antonio Brahmas in the XFL and was an all-XFL member as well. So he's got a little bit of pedigree here. You look at his college stats, had 17 sacks and 35 tackles for loss for the Mustangs, 4 forced fumbles in his career, which lasted 33 games over 4 seasons. So he's got a little bit of ability here. I like the frame, like we mentioned off the top, 6'5", 246, 7.5 sacks in 8 XFL games, by the way. I kind of view this as a camp body, but a little more in the sense that maybe he's a practice squad type of candidate, right? Like, he probably won't push for a roster spot. This defense has looked pretty good during camp and in the first preseason game, but an athletic dude that I think has a chance to stick around at least in some capacity. Grade the Delonte Scott signing for us. Get your red pen out. A, B, C, D, or F. I don't think there's really any bad signings this time of year, especially when they're vet minimum type contracts like this. So I give it a solid C grade. It's at least going to be a passing grade because there's really no bad signings this time of year. I don't expect great things here, but camp body, push for a practice squad spot, 2 preseason games to go. So an opportunity for a player who excelled during the XFL this spring. You look at the defensive line depth chart here. Obviously, you know, he's got a ways to go to get onto the 3 deep, but who knows? You never know, right? Like, injuries could pop up. He could pop in the preseason. He could show something in these practices. So we'll keep an eye on how he does over the next couple of weeks and see if he can at least earn himself a practice squad spot. This is why you subscribe to the channel, because we have you guys covered with all of the Atlanta Falcons news, rumors, everything else in between. So hit that subscribe button and join us today. And I'm going to mic up producer Rolly here as well, because him and Matthew Peterson, who you guys are normally used to seeing, are going to be going live for a Falcons-Bengals preseason game. Rolly, how pumped for this one are you?
Yeah, no, I'm pumped. Me and Petey are excited to watch, hopefully, Desmond Ridder play. It's already been out that Bijan Robinson will see his first action in the preseason this Friday. So make sure you join us, because it's gonna be very fun here. Me and Petey are pumped to see some Atlanta Falcons football, and make sure you join us live, because it will be a lot of fun.
That game on Friday, 30-minute pregame show, I would assume. So
yeah, absolutely. Game's at 6:30. Make sure you come in and join.
So join the show. And Arthur Smith, you are on the hot seat if you don't play Desmond Ridder. I mean, Jesus Christ. They're acting like this guy's established. Like, get him out there. Got to see the second-year quarterback get some reps here. Okay, let's get to the rumor portion of the show. Cordarrelle Patterson, who I know we've talked about a lot here on this channel. Could he be on the trade block? Bleacher Report dropped an article of 1 player each team should put on the block before week 1, and the Falcons player was Cordarrelle Patterson. And this is Matt Holder's explanation for why that should be the case. He said in 10 career seasons, he has 2,330 rushing yards, 22 rushing touchdowns to go with 2757 receiving yards, 15 receiving touchdowns, 9 scores as a kick returner. However, he is 32 years old and is entering a contract season. There's also a question of how big Patterson's role will be with the Falcons in 2023. They have a lot of young talent at their skill positions, headlined by pass catchers Kyle Pitts and Drake London, as well as running backs Bijan Robinson and Tyler Allgeier. Robinson is also to take on the role as the third down back. The Falcons running back situation is certainly interesting and odd, if you will, right? That's why there was, I would say, slight hesitation to take Bijan. Now, I'm fully on board with the pick. You take a good player if he's there. I don't think there's any downside. But with Allgeier being so good and Patterson having a role on this team, it's kind of left us wondering, where does Cordarrelle Patterson fit on this team right now? Obviously, Bijan's going to be RB1. Allgeier's going to play a lot, and you've got CPAT. I think what you're going to see is Patterson's going to play a lot more receiver lining up in the slot. He's still an excellent kick returner. Then he can be an occasional change of pace back. But, would you flirt with putting him on the block? Could you get, a fifth-round pick or something like that for a team that is looking to bolster their kick return unit and maybe add a versatile running back receiver hybrid weapon here? We'll see. I'd like to keep him around and give Desmond Ridder as many weapons as possible, but I would not be completely against the idea depending on what the trade value was. What do you guys think? Would you trade Cordarrelle Patterson? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. I would keep him around unless team comes calling and gives you a decent offer. We have these Falcons hats available for you guys right now at chatsports.com/Falcons hats, sideline hats, SL hats there, chatsports.com/Falcons SL hats. Some of these are okay. I love that. I like that black one, that last one we flashed with the red logo. You got kind of the split look here with the NFL logo as well. I think this one's my favorite one. That's the one I would pick up. Go check them out, chatsports.com/Falcons SL hats, sideline hats. Today, you're seeing the players and coaches rock these during training camp. Again, I wouldn't trade him, but I do think, or I would at least like to see what his role is. I think that's very undefined at this point in time for Atlanta. I do think with there being question marks at receiver after London and, obviously Kyle Pitts, I think we will see Patterson line up at receiver a little bit more moving forward. He had 21 catches last year. I think he could go for 30-plus potentially and be that type of player. I do expect the carries to decrease. I don't think he'll have over 100 carries at all, especially considering you have Tyler Allgeier, who isn't even your starter anymore, and he rushed for 1,000 yards last year and over 200 carries. There's just not going to be the carries to go around for Cordarrelle Patterson this year with Bijan Robinson in the fold as a top 10 pick. So I do think Arthur Smith has to figure that out, but I just think he's worth keeping around. He's a good vibes guy, good in the locker room. He's a vet for this offense, which has a lot of young talent, but I think he's a veteran voice that is worthwhile keeping in that room. Again, you never say never with trades. If an offer comes, cool, but I don't think if you're Atlanta actively shopping him really makes a ton of sense. His cap hit's only $5.5 million. I don't think that's massive by any means. And sure, maybe a 5th or 6th round pick could come calling, but if it's a 6th or a 7th, it's I'll keep the guy and have an extra weapon, right? Look, if someone's like a 5th or hell a 4th, yeah, that changes things. But I think what Cordarrelle Patterson is. He gives you versatility, value, and if nothing else, he is a top 3 kick returner in this league. Still, he's very, very dangerous in that regard, and that's valuable, especially for a young offense where if you can get over 17 games, 10 shorter fields, I think, and maybe a touchdown or 2 on special teams from CPAT, I think that's certainly worthwhile. All right, guys, that's going to do it for Falcons today. We'll see what the new signing does and what Patterson's future is. Again, subscribe. Join our watch party on Friday night. We'll try to be back with another video tomorrow as well, getting you ready for that game. But if not, for sure, the watch party on Friday. My name's Harrison Graham. Check out Rolly and Petey for that watch party.